Hello students, we are discussing essentials of a valid contract. In our previous class, we have seen that how consideration is important for the formation of a contract, what are the rules relating to consideration, and we have seen that how important consideration is, that is no consideration, no contract, and what are the exceptions to this rule. Now we are going to talk about next essential element of a valid contract, that is legality of object and consideration. Now what does it mean by legality of object and consideration? So section 23 of Indian Contract Act deals with legality of object and consideration. It says that an agreement of which the object or consideration is unlawful is void. So if there is any agreement, the object means what? Object means the purpose or the reason for which the agreement is entered into. If that purpose of agreement is unlawful, or the consideration means something in written, if it is unlawful, then in that case that agreement is void, not enforceable by law. Object means the purpose or design of contract, that means the intention or the reason behind entering into a contract or agreement. If that object, purpose or consideration is unlawful means against the law, then that agreement is void, not enforceable by law. Section 23 of Indian Contract Act speaks of three things. It tells us about three things. Which are the three things should be lawful if we want that agreement should be converted into a contract? Three things are necessary as per section 23. First is the consideration for the agreement. Consideration should be lawful. Object of the agreement should be lawful. Purpose of the agreement should be lawful. And the agreement itself should be lawful. Then only that agreement will be converted into a contract. So section 23 speaks of three things, that is for valid contract, in order that an agreement should be converted to contract, consideration, object, and the agreement itself should be lawful. If any of these three things is unlawful, then that agreement will not be converted to contract. It will be a void agreement. Now, when the object of the contract will become unlawful, the purpose of the contract is considered as unlawful if it is forbidden by law. Forbidden means prohibited by law. Law prohibits that. Law opposes that object or purpose. It is of such nature that if allowed, it would defeat provisions of law. So is of such nature that if that object is allowed, it will be against the provisions of any law which is in existence. It is fraudulent. It is with respect to committing fraud. It causes injury to person or his property. It is immoral in nature if the court regards it as opposed to public policy. So, if any of these ingredients is there, that agreement will be considered as void, not enforceable by law, because the object of that agreement will be considered as unlawful. Now, one by one, we will discuss these points in detail. The first point is if it is forbidden by law. What does it mean by if it is forbidden by law? Means if the consideration means something in written, or the object means purpose for a promise is of such a nature, is of such kind that it is forbidden by law. Forbidden means law prohibits that consideration, doing something. Law prohibits that purpose for which the agreement is entered into. In that case, such agreement is void, not enforceable by law. Now, which are the acts which are forbidden by law? Law prohibits doing certain things. Which are the things which are forbidden by law? When it is punishable by criminal law of the country, that object or purpose, it is punishable, it is considered as a crime as per the laws of that country, it is forbidden by law. So beating someone, killing someone, These are the acts which are for those doing those acts, committing those acts. There is a punishment which is prescribed under criminal laws of that country. Then that act is forbidden by law. When it is prohibited by special legislation or regulation, when that act, doing something, or that object, it is prohibited, it is opposed by special law, by any other law, or any regulation is made, rule is made for that purpose, such agreement is forbidden by law. Say, for example, an agreement to pay consideration to a tenant to induce him to vacate premises governed by Rent Restriction Act is illegal and not enforceable because such act is forbidden by the said act. Means what? Say for example, one person who is a landlord or who is a owner of the particular property, and there is one tenant. Owner wants that the tenant should vacate the premises. Owner enters into agreement with the tenant and he says that he will pay certain sum of money to the tenant to vacate the premises. So paying some consideration to a tenant in order to induce him to vacate the premises, leave that house, it is governed as per the provisions of Rent Restriction Act. And as per the provisions of that act, it is illegal to give or to pay something to the tenant to vacate the premises. Therefore, this agreement is not enforceable because this act or paying something to the tenant is forbidden or is prohibited by Rent Restriction Act. So the second point which we have discussed, when it is prohibited by special legislation or regulation, this is an example of that second point. Next point, that object or that consideration is of such nature that if permitted, it would defeat the provisions of any law. So if that agreement is permitted, then it will be against the provisions of some other law which is in existence. Then that agreement will be considered as unlawful, that purpose or consideration will be considered as unlawful, and that agreement will be void, not enforceable by law. So such agreement will be void. So whenever there is an agreement to give an annual allowance to the parents of an adopted Hindu boy in order to induce them to consent to the adoption is void. Example of it is, so there is one person who wants to adopt a son. He says that he will pay certain sum of money to the biological parents of that boy in return of he is adopting their child. This is against the provisions of Hindu law and such agreement will be void. One person who is interested in adopting a boy, he says or he enters into agreement with the biological parents of that boy, that if they will give their son to him in adoption, he will pay certain sum of money every year. Such agreement is against the provisions of Hindu law. Therefore, that agreement is void, not enforceable by law. So what is the point here? It is of such a nature that if permitted, it would defeat the provisions of any law. Here, which is any law? So here it is against the provisions of Hindu law. Such agreement is void, not enforceable by law. An agreement between husband and wife to live separately, that agreement is invalid. So if husband and wife enter into agreement to live separately, that agreement is invalid as per the provisions of Hindu law. Hindu law opposes that. Hindu law prohibits that. So such agreement is void, not enforceable by law. Now, third point is, if it is fraudulent. If that agreement, the purpose or the object of that agreement is fraudulent, that agreement is void. Now, what does it mean by fraudulent? It is with respect to committing fraud or with respect to sharing something which they have gained by committing fraud. There is an agreement for the sale of the goods for the purpose of smuggling them out of the country. That is void, because smuggling is fraudulent act. It is regarding committing the fraud. Such agreement is void, not enforceable by law. An agreement for division of gains acquired by fraud is void. So whenever there is an agreement with to agreement to divide the property, to divide something which they have received, which they have gained by committing a fraud. Say for example, A, B and C, they have committed fraud on D. By cheating him, they have acquired 10,000 rupees. There is an agreement amongst themselves to divide that 10,000 rupees. That agreement is void. Why void? Because the object or consideration of that agreement is unlawful. Because they have committed a fraud, they have cheated D and received that money, and there is an agreement for the division of the gains which they have acquired by fraud. Such agreement is void, not enforceable by law. Next point. If it involves or implies injury to the person or property of another. Now, whenever there is an agreement, the object or consideration of that agreement is providing injury either to a person or the property of another person. Such agreement is unlawful and that agreement is void, not enforceable by law. So, object or consideration of an agreement is unlawful if it tends to injure the person or property of another. Such agreement is void, not enforceable by law. Agreement to pull down another's house. So, this is an agreement to provide injury to some another person's property. That agreement is void. A says to B that you go and pull down or destroy C's house, I will pay 10,000 rupees to you. Whether that agreement will be valid, enforceable by law? No, because it is unlawful, because that agreement involves providing injury to the property of another. Similar example, same type of example. A says to B that you go and beat C, I will pay 10,000 rupees to you. As per the agreement, B goes and beats C and comes to A that as per our agreement, I have beaten C, give me 10,000 rupees. A says, I am not going to give you anything. Can we go to the court and file a case in the court of law? As per our agreement, I have beaten C and now he is not paying 10,000 rupees to me. Court should order him to pay me 10,000 rupees. No, because what he has done, that is, that agreement involves or it implies injury to the person. Such agreement is considered as unlawful and that agreement is void, not enforceable by law. In this case, B will not get any remedy in the court of law. Sometimes one case study is asked on this point, that one person goes and beats another person. Same facts which just now we have discussed. Injury means criminal or wrongful act, doing something which is wrong as per criminal law. Next point, if the court regards it as immoral. If any agreement, the object or the consideration of that agreement is considered by the court as immoral, such agreement is void, not enforceable by law. Now, what is immoral? So, immoral means something which is inconsistent with what is right. Immoral means something which is not right, which is not correct. As per our moral conscience, what is not correct, that is called as immoral. So what is immoral here? One person, P, he gave money to D. D is a married woman. So person gave money to a married woman. For what? So the purpose of the giving money is to obtain divorce from her husband and promise to marry after she gets divorced. Such agreement is void. One person agreed to give 50,000 rupees to a married woman, says that you get a divorce from your husband. After you get a divorce, we will marry. If she gets a divorce and afterwards he refuses to marry that woman, such agreement, whether it will be enforceable by law, whether she can go and file a case in the court of law? No. Such agreement is void. And such, say for example, P has given money to a married woman to get a divorce from her husband. As per that, she gets money, she does not give divorce to her husband. Can that person who has given money to her go and file a case in the court of law against her that I had given her a money to take the divorce from her husband and she has taken the money and she has not given the divorce to husband? No. because court considers procuring money or giving money to a married woman to take a divorce from husband, that agreement is void, that is unlawful, and that such agreement is void, not enforceable by law. Next point, if the court regards it as being opposed to public policy. So if that court considers that particular agreement is opposed to public policy. Now what does it mean by opposed to public policy? So public policy is the principle of law. That means certain thing, public policy means no person can lawfully do that which has a tendency to be injurious to the public. So a person should not be allowed by law to do something which is injurious, which is dangerous for the general public. So here the welfare, well-being of the general public is taken into consideration. Any agreement which is injurious to the general public, such agreement is void, not enforceable by law. Example, agreements to tend or promote corruption. So promoting corruption or promoting injustice, these are certain things which are against the public policy, against the general public. Therefore, an agreement which promotes corruption or injustice, those agreements are against the interest of public, hence such agreements are unlawful, not enforceable by law. So these are the points which we have discussed under the heading legality of object and consideration. Thank you.